Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, I wanted to talk about rituals as spiritual devices and how we can synthesize knowledge through it. And knowledge has experienced its share of ups and downs. It has been rejected, refuted, synthesized into new forms, and continuously transformed over time. Past traditions and their wisdom have often been lost, rendering them seemingly irrelevant in today's world where they hold little to no material value. To some, these traditions are nonsensical; to others, they remain significant only in the context of a single true field of knowledge or tradition that they believe offers the definitive path. For example, Islam can be looked at in this case. If we look at the rituals in Islam, they seem to be valuable, but the overall tradition, the knowledge of it has decayed, is not relevant anymore. Yet, the rituals are still something that the majority of Muslims follow because they give peace to the Muslim. While it's true that knowledge must evolve and adapt over time, being created through the dual processes of synthesis and criticism, our focus here is on these two modes of knowledge creation. Today, knowledge is being generated rapidly through synthesis, yet the critical aspect of knowledge evolution seems to lack. Before delving into this, let us first explore the concept of spiritual devices or rituals. Life in ancient times was both simple and complex. Without modern technology, communication across the world was nearly impossible, and there was minimal exchange of information and goods. The world was a place of hunting, scavenging, discovery, conquest, and endless curiosity. People sought knowledge by traveling to scholarly centers and engaging with extraordinary individuals, often through word of mouth introductions. Accessing wisdom often required years of arduous journeys through deserts, forests, and mountains. Back then, curiosity was ever present. What lies across the sea? What happens if I explored that unknown territory? Knowledge creation was a slow process, often hindered by the lack of efficient communication. For instance, an experimenter working in isolation might not live long enough to see conclusive results. This slow pace meant that life was strange, mysterious, and full of challenges. The advent of technology marked a turning point. Communication became more accessible, reducing the need for physical travel in search of knowledge. Printing enabled the dissemination of ideas, fostering culture exchange and unifying human understanding. However, invasions, once an innocent act of curiosity and also a pastime for power-hungry warlords, served as both destructive and synthetic forces, blending knowledge and traditions to create new paradigms. The explosion of knowledge happened over time. The linear progression of knowledge gave way to exponential growth, driven by improved communication and technology and its advancements. This explosion of information has brought us to our current state, where erudition is more valued than ever. Regardless of race or culture, the ability to acquire and create knowledge is the most valuable asset in today's world. Knowledge now encompasses not only traditional disciplines but also coding, data, and software, new forms of intellectual capital. Data has become the fuel of our era, and everything related to it holds immense importance. But What does this mean for knowledge and its evolution of intelligence and problem solving? Let's look at that now. The rapid pace of knowledge creation has significant psychological and physiological implications. Technology produces devices to solve problems, yet the presence of a problem is a constant in human life. Problems are inevitable, says David Deutsch. As long as the mind exists, it will perceive problems and seek solutions. Technological devices solve specific issues, and those who invent them are often deemed successful. However, solving one problem does not eliminate all challenges. It simply plays a part in the broader human effort. In the past, before the scientific revolution, knowledge was localized. People devised solutions to their immediate experiences, often in philosophical or religious contexts. When rejecting old knowledge, we must be clear about what we are discarding. In this era of rapid knowledge creation, there is a risk of losing valuable wisdom. Video might not reach a larger audience immediately, its relevance may grow over time. But it so often happens that it becomes relevant in years and years to come. Now, let us look at spiritual devices. Technology has become an integral part of our reality, influencing how we perceive the world. Similarly, spiritual devices, concepts, or practices developed by sages and ancient scientists offer tools for understanding deeper realities. These devices operate on intricate levels, shaping our perceptions. When engaged with regularly, they reveal aspects of existence that might remain hidden without them. Looking deeper, the greatest gift that Western thought has given us, and by Western thought I mean the scientific revolution that began with Europe and spread rapidly across the whole globe through its procedure of thought that based itself on very intricate and critical levels of logic, is that it created a space for technological growth in terms of converting the seen and experimental, like the radio waves, into transmittal waves used for communications. This technology or device slightly manipulates the laws of the radio waves and transforms them into a materially observable thing that can be perceived by the sense. Spiritual devices, for example, a ritual like the device called the namaz, which was apparently given to the Prophet Muhammad, has an ability to act as a psychological device which over time has an effect of inducing a serenity on the mind, like a mantra that is done through the whole body. Now, this is similar to yoga and a lot of other rituals that have developed. These devices can be seen everywhere in all esoteric traditions of the world. These devices actually do give comparable and evidential experience, often not as easily materialized, which hence is rejected by the scientific community. But since a majority of the Muslims believe in the subjective experience, and there must be some truth to it. But considering the human system as subjective experience through an objective medium, these devices, which are all over the world, are mere means to experience certain things in the world. The mind is also a device. Its workings can either be understood through self-awareness or through wisdom. In India, these devices are used all over the place and have an effect on the consciousness of the person performing using the device, often leading to similar effects. If performed consistently with diligent effort, they are called tantras or techniques. And according to the book Vijnana Bhairava, knowledge of divine consciousness, a treatise and collection of all these techniques leads to a unifying experience which opens the consciousness to the highest state of realization, called the Shiva nature, or the Buddha nature, or the reality in simple terms. However, spiritual devices are often overlooked for three main reasons. The overwhelming space of knowledge creation makes it difficult to focus. Rapid generation means the refuted things are false. In an era of unified knowledge, attractive ideas are embraced while less appealing ones are dismissed, obscuring alternative realities for misleading desires. Non-judgmentalism, which is now due to this diversity, is seen as a virtue these days, can hinder the critical thinking necessary for deeper understanding, which is actually necessary to protect oneself from self-created delusion. Even in spiritual traditions, J. Krishnamurti, an Indian philosopher way ahead of his time, often stressed on this point because dogmatism and belief leads to a perception of duality, and this duality is even more strengthened because of the benefits of the devices like these tantras or namans or yoga, or the benefits of other various devices from traditions like Christianity, Judaism, and so on. You are bound, consciously or unconsciously, through fear to the dogma or the tradition or the technique in which you have been brought up. J. Krishnamurti has said this. It just so happens that we tend to get lost in other traditions. We fear our own, only to end up realizing that it was not bad at all. Yet at the same time, the conservatives who often hold their beliefs and traditions do it unknowingly for the greater good, that is, to preserve wisdom. The importance of criticism is essential for the evolution of knowledge. Without it, humanity risks stagnation, clinging to outdated ideas and authoritative figures, unable to address current challenges. Observing and addressing global problems, even those outside one's immediate profession, is crucial. We are all interconnected, and solving issues beyond our personal scope contributes. This contributes to the collective progress. Knowledge has advanced through synthesis, conjecture, and criticism, not dogmatism or blind belief. In our information-rich society, the implications of accessible knowledge are profound. Life becomes far more exciting when we realize not only the breadth of problems but also the availability of research and solutions. Spiritual devices can address psychological and spiritual challenges. Though prone to dogmatic misuse, their benefits often outweigh their risks. Our ancestors' beliefs, deeply rooted in our consciousness, still shape our inclinations and perceptions. By acknowledging our interconnectedness and addressing shared problems, we honor collective effort of humanity. Knowledge grows on the pillars of synthesis, integration, conjecture, refutability, and criticism. Weakening these foundations leads to stagnation and ignorance. Strengthening them, however, allows society to evolve and thrive. Thank you for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and watch my other videos on similar topics.